is Charlie, and I will introduce you how to use this ultrasonic sensor. Let's talk about how it works. It uses sound, and like sound we can hear, but sound is normally we can hear, but this this ultrasonic sensor sound is we cannot hear. I will show you. People can hear to 20 Hz to 20,000 Hz, and so we can hear this Hertz sound, but we cannot hear 40,000 Hz, and this is which ultrasonic sensor. So this 40,000 Hz sound, and this uses 400,000 Hz. I will show you why we cannot hear it. Like I made, can you see this one? I made this potentiometer and I put this buzzer in here. So if I turn this knob, and it will increase hertz. Wait a minute. So first it's very low, but we can hear it. 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 And we can't hear it. So it is. So we can hear it, the sound. We can hear the sound. We can hear the sound. And we can't hear this sound. And this sound is used for ultrasonic sensor. So let's talk about how 40,000 Hz sound is used to find out this distance. So I will put this ultrasonic sensor on here, top of here, and as you can see, there is ultrasonic sensor, and here's the obstacle. So ultrasonic sensor, first time we have to trigger this ultrasonic sensor. So if we make trigger pin to high with this digital write, and it will shoot the sound of 40,000 Hertz of sound. So it will trigger and it will shoot the sound, and the sound goes boom 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 boom, and it is reflected by this book. So it is reflected and goes back to this ultrasonic sensor. So how we can use this to find out this distance? So it uses duration, it uses time to find out the distance of this book and this ultrasonic sensor. So we can find out this, we trigger and we turn on the timer. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And for example, like we can count timer like that. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it is 10 seconds. So it uses 5 seconds to go this distance, and we can analyze this. We analyze the distance with this duration of like go and come back. So we can find out the trigger time, and then it goes back and it receives, and it it makes this ultrasonic sensor send the signal of like the duration, so we can find out the distance of this book and ultrasonic sensor with duration of this ultrasonic sensor. So let's talk about how to trigger and how to analyze the duration of this ultrasonic sensor. So I found a datasheet in Google, this ultrasonic sensor. So this one, trigger input, it is just input, as you can see. So it is, so we can trigger this with digital write on Arduino. So we can trigger for 10 microseconds. So we can trigger this 10 microsecond, and that's all. It is triggering is really easy. Just write digital write and write the delay for 10 microsecond, and then just a digital write low, and that's all. It is just really easy. And second is how it really works in this ultrasonic sensor. If we trigger this and then when it stops, it triggers 8 cycles, and like go down, go down, go down, go down with 40,000 hertz, and it goes like through the air. So here is ultrasonic sensor, and it trigger and it goes through the air, and then it come back. So what will after there is a echo pin in this ultrasonic sensor. So in this echo pin, it shows the length of like after shooting this, we can measure this duration. It is just a low. We can read it, digital read it with Arduino, and we can read it low, high, and low, and go. So we can find out the duration of this with pulse in, and like in Arduino library there is pulse in, and there is a there is a function of this pulse in, so we can find the duration of high with pulse in, comma some echo. This is pin and this is high. So you can write here for what the pin you put echo pin. It is just number. You can write 8 or 9, or the pin of you put echo pin and high. So it can like measure the length of the high, like low, high, and it starts how long high continues. And when high goes down, it returns some duration of how high low how long the high is. So it is considered of microseconds. So yes, this is how we get the duration from ultrasonic sensor. So let's talk about how to change duration we get from person to distance. As you can know, there is a rule between with the duration and speed and distance, and there is distance is equal to duration, and it multiply speed. So here's rule that we learned in like many science classes. So we can find out like how to change duration to distance. So we know the duration, and we want to find out the distance. So we only have to do is find out the speed. So as you know, the speed of the sound is 340 meter per second, and it is found by scientists. So we know the speed and we know the duration with person, and then we can find out the distance. But before we do, person returns the time of microseconds, so we have to change this microsecond with this just a second to microsecond, and we have to change this meter to centimeter to make it more like a more smaller unit. So we found that, and we have to change this speed to meter per second to centimeter per microsecond. So there is a unit that 1 second equals 1000 millisecond, and it equals to 1 million microsecond. And this is the time, and there is we can change 1 meter to 100 centimeter. We found 2. So we can use this, and we can use this, and we can change it this. So we can change, or we can multiply this 340 multiply 100 divided with this 1 million. And it is centimeter per microsecond. And we found this thing. So we have to change this, and we have to we can delete 100 with this, and we can delete this 0, and oops, sorry, there is 1 here, 0 here, so it is 1000. It equals to 34 divided 1000 centimeter per microsecond. And we found this. It is hard to calculate it, so let's see this with the computer. So we can divide 1000 with 34, and it shows many numbers, but we can use this 29. So we can use 29 in here. So it is just 29 centimeter per microsecond. So that's all. You just have to multiply duration to this 1 divided 29. So you can just so with multiply you can just divide the duration with 29. But there is one problem, because this ultrasonic sensor, it shows the duration of go and come back. So we have to divide it with 2, so we can find out the duration, how far it just go. So we have to divide it 2 with this duration. So after all, we have the distance of centimeter to duration with pulsing, like we found in pulsing is unit of microsecond multiply 29 per 1, and this is for dividing 2. So that's all. Like distance is we can divide the duration with 29 and 2. So it just means 58. So we can just find the distance with the dividing 58 with duration. We can divide the duration with 58 and it shows the distance. So let's talk about how to connect this Arduino and ultrasonic sensor. And there is 4 pins in this ultrasonic sensor. Wait a minute. There is ground pin, and there is trigger, and there is echo, and there is VCC. So there is 4 pin, like I said. First one is ground, and you can just connect Arduino with ground. And there is echo, and in my case I put a digital 9. And then there is trigger pin, and I put it in digital 8. Lastly, I put VCC to 5 volt. And that's all we have to connect. So I will connect it. There is ground here. First I will just put VCC. There is a VCC, and I will put it in 5 volt. And there is a ground here, and I will put ground in GMD. And there is echo, and I will put it number 9 digital. And lastly, there is a trigger which make the sound of the ultrasonic sensor, and I will put it number 8. And that's all we have to connect. So let's connect it to my laptop, and I will tell you how to write program. So I connected this ultrasonic sensor with, like in my laptop, and I will show how I programmed it. So there is trigger pin and echo pin. So I put, trig is 8, and I put, I put echo pin on 9, so I write this. And I began in this setup. I began my serial to use serial monitor, and I use pin mode and trigger for output, and pin mode echo for input. So in the loop, goes many things. So first of all, there can be it can have some problem if you do not write digital write low to trigger an echo, because Arduino have to calculate Arduino have to get the data with this pulse in, so it must not have anything in before you trigger and get it with the pulse in. So you first have to digital write low, and I will write a digital delay for microseconds for 2, and then you have to like we saw at the data sheet, there is digital write, so I will high it for 10 microseconds and then low, and this ultrasonic sensor will send the high for high for duration. So I put duration with pulsing, so echo pin for high, so it will return about the duration of how high goes. So I get the duration with the unsigned long, so it will get really big number. So after that we can divide this 85 that we calculated before, so we can divide 55 with duration, so we can get the distance about centimeters. So I uploaded it, so I will show how it will really works. I put a ruler on here, and this is 10 centimeter, and this is 20 centimeter, and this is 30. So you have to watch it with computer. So wait a minute. So yeah, let's open serial monitor. So as you can see, I put this my book on 30 centimeter. Wait a minute. And as you can see in the serial monitor, it is nearly right. So I will change this to 20 centimeter. Wait a minute. And it is really same. Wait a minute. Yeah, it is 20 centimeter. So as you can see, it is quite really it is quite very precise. So I think ultrasonic sensor is really good sensor of making knowing the distance of how long this. And thank you for watching.